Hi everybody, very welcome to Mentour and yet another video podcast. As always, I hope you're doing absolutely fantastic. Today on the video, guys, why the global pilot training industry is severely flawed and how you and me can help each other out to try and fix it. Stay tuned.
Wind 31016, runway right, right on. Hard to land 31 right. Delta 260. Introduce.
Right, guys, so I have been part of the professional airline training industry for the last 14 years. I've been an instructor and examiner. I've seen hundreds of pilots go through both of the simulator training and into the line training and becoming successful airline pilots. The last 4 years, as you are well aware, I have been working on the Mentour Pilot project. I started that project in order to give you a positive and a constructive picture about my life as an airline pilot, what it's like to actually work in the industry. And I've also tried to create channels where you can interact with me, with other professional pilots or people in training in a good, safe and constructive environment. Now, in my work with the channel, I have had the pleasure to come into contact with thousands of you guys, and you have all indicated a few things to me that I want to cover in this video. There seems to be 4 major problems with the training industry at the moment. Okay. Number 1, people are being trained to become pilots who shouldn't be. Okay. Now that might sound really harsh, but the reality of the thing is that in order to become a professional airline pilot, you have to be more than just able to do your licenses. All right? You have to have the ability and aptitude to actually pass an airline interview and to become not only a good co-pilot, but ultimately a good captain. And not everyone is suited for that. And this is why, from the beginning of this channel, I have been pushing flight schools and flight students to do suitability tests, to do screenings before they enter into the industry. Okay? I find it crucially important that whoever puts up the money needed to become a pilot have done so after they have done a proper screening by a proper company. Now, that screening, if it comes out with a negative result, then you should also have the right to get feedback. What do you need to improve? So you can work on it, improve it, come back, redo it, and then possibly go for your training later on. But without having done that screening, no one should start their professional airline training, period. Number 2, funding. Okay. This is where this industry is truly flawed. So I can't count how many people have come into direct contact with me, either asking directly for money or asking for ways to fund their training. At the moment, if you're going to go through an integrated training, you basically need to have access to at least 50,000 euros, but more likely up to around 100 to 120,000 euros to do the training immediately. This effectively limits the amount of people that can become pilots to people who have rich parents, rich relatives, or who have parents who can mortgage their house to finance this training. That is not right. The people who should go for the training should be the best suited for it, the ones with the best attitude, aptitude and abilities. So that might be the person who doesn't have rich parents, who doesn't have access to money, the person who traditional financing companies wouldn't touch with a stick. They still can do this job, right? You can still become fantastic pilots, great airline captains, great trainers, but you need to have the chance to get that. So funding is something that I am looking into try to solve for you, okay? It is not going to be free. You're still going to have to put a little bit of skin into the game. A little bit of money needs to be put down in order to really kind of assert yourself into this process, because it will take a lot of sweat and tears to get yourself to where you want to go. But everyone should have access to funding based on their abilities, attitudes and aptitudes. Number 3, training organizations. Okay. At the moment, there are literally thousands of flight schools out there. Every single one of them, when you approach them, are going to tell them that they are the best training organization for you. They are the ones who are going to bring you into that precious right seat. Okay. But that's not all the case, right? It can't be that thousands of schools are all the best ones for you. Some of them will be straight down bad for you. Some of them will not have the good economy that is needed. So I've heard horrendous stories about people who have scraped together the funding needed for the training. They paid it into what looks like the cheapest possible option, and then just found out that that school went into bankruptcy, taking all of their money with them, and they don't have anything anymore. That cannot happen. So this means that instead of the way it works today, where you need to do the legwork, you need to go and visit the schools, you need to check the finances of the flight school, you need to verify through talking to previous students or to instructors and looking at their aircraft that they actually are good at what they do. That needs to be changed into an organization that can guarantee that for you, that only works together with the absolute best training organizations. They might not be the cheapest ones, but given that this same organization will also make sure that you have funding, that should be less important. What is important here is that the people with the right attitude, ability and aptitude will be funneled into the best available flight schools where they can really make sure that you have the skills needed in order to become good airline pilots. Okay, so now we talked about 3 things. The 4th thing obviously is jobs. So out of the people that I have been talking to, there is a lot of worry out there that once you have gone through the funding, the training, or this blood, sweat and tears that it takes to become a professional pilot, that you will end up at the end of it without a job. This is also a problem. So this solution to the problem that I have been mentioning so far needs to both screen the pilot, they need to fund the pilot, they need to find the right training organization, and there needs to be airlines waiting for these super pilots at the end of the tunnel. So this organization needs to be in good contact with airlines that are actually hiring people at the end. All right, it's very, very important that this happens. And of course, if the airlines are fed with the people with the correct attitude, aptitude, and abilities, that will then make it easier for the airlines as well to hire. It'll be less pressure on the recruitment sections of the airline because they know that they're getting good people who are being well trained and who are really, really kind of focused, laser focused on getting that airline job. Are you interested in joining an organization like that? If I can provide that for you, would you want to sign on to it? Now, here is my call to action. This is important. In order for me to be able to create this type of organization, together with some of the most powerful and influential people in the industry, I need to both convince those people and the investors, the ones that are going to provide the funding, that there is an interest for this, that you guys are interested in this. So wherever you are now in the globe, okay, whoever you are, if you know someone, it might be your parent, it might be your brother, your sister, it might be the neighbor that you know across the street who's interested in becoming a pilot, or yourself, I need you to go down and click the link down here or the link that I have put up here and write yourself up for the newsletter. Okay, because the more people I get signed up to that newsletter, the more I can show what the interest is. And once we have this solution built for you, no matter what form it has, you will get an email, right? You will get an email saying that this is now available, sign up for it, and let's start the screening to see which one of you are best suited to become airline pilot. So help me out with this, spread this wide. Okay, it's not going to be a limited amount of people. If you're not going to be helping your competition by spreading this, the more people we get into this funnel, the better it is and the more chance it is that this will actually happen. So spread this wide, share it on social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, wherever you can spread it. The more people who knows about it, the better it is. And that's what I wanted to say. See you very soon, and I hope to be able to send you an email within the next few months or weeks. Alright guys, I really hope that you liked that. If you want more content like that, more aviation content, well then check this out. I hope that you have subscribed to the channel and that you've highlighted the little notification bell. See you inside of the Mentour Aviation app and have an absolutely fantastic day. Bye bye.